The power of unavailability. A journey back to the self. Have you ever noticed that some people don't need to speak loudly or react forcefully, yet still have a profound influence on their surroundings? They don't dominate conversations. They don't try to become the center. But every action, every silence they make carries a distinct weight. No shouting, no begging. They simply withdraw. And instantly, everything changes. Attention shifts. People start asking questions. Curiosity rises. Chaos emerges. Not because they did anything dramatic, but because they stopped doing anything at all. No reactions. No pleasing. No constant availability. Asterisk, and in that very unavailability, they become more powerful than ever. The trap of always being available. We live in an age of instant responses. A message comes, we reply. Someone calls, we show up. A rude question, we react. A criticism, we defend. A fear, we run. We are taught that constant presence is a sign of responsibility, love, and maturity. But sometimes, being too present is a sign of dependency. Dependency on recognition. Dependency on our role in others' lives. Dependency on the feeling of, I need to do something right now. Always being available turns you into a reaction system, no longer a sovereign being. You don't live by values. You live by reflex. You don't choose your actions, you just respond. The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. William Jameson said, and that's when you begin to lose yourself. Unavailability, not avoidance, but a choice where taught that withdrawing is weakness. That silence is complicity. That when someone asks something, we must have an answer. That love means always showing up, always responding, never letting others feel lack. But that's a dangerous illusion. You have the right to be unavailable. You have the right not to respond to messages instantly. You have the right not to react to everything life throws at you. Because you are not the container for everyone's expectations. When you choose to withdraw, you create space. Space to think, to observe, to listen to yourself. And in that space, you begin reclaiming your inner authority. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Carl Jung. The world panics when you stop responding. Something curious happens when you stop reacting instinctively. People around you start to feel confused. They were used to you always being there, always answering, always yielding, always smiling though tired, always saying, I'm fine, even when breaking. But when you stop doing that, they get uncomfortable. They say you've changed. They demand, manipulate, provoke. Not because they're bad, but because they don't understand. They've grown used to a constantly available version of you, and now they don't know what to do with the silence. But be patient, because in that unpredictability, you are reestablishing boundaries. And those boundaries are the borders of respect. Daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love ourselves, even when we risk disappointing others. Quotes from The Shadow. Carl Jung and the Shadow Self. Carl Jung once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. When you always react instinctively, you let the unconscious rule. The shadow self, is the part you're afraid to look at. It makes you please others to feel loved. It makes you fear silence because you can't face the emptiness. Inside, when you withdraw, the shadow appears. You will feel anxious, guilty, uneasy. But in that very space, you'll find your truth. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. Carl Jung. Unavailability, not selfishness, but conscious self-loveth. World says love is giving. Everything. But love isn't exhaustion. True love comes with healthy boundaries. You can't love others if you're depleted. You can't give what you don't have. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Unavailability isn't rejection. It's the way you protect your vitality, so that when you return, you're truly present. Not reluctantly. It's how you say, I matter, and because I matter, I won't live on autopilot anymore. Self-care is never a selfish act, it is simply good stewardship of the only gift I have, the gift I was put on earth to offer to others. The journey back and the solitude that's necessary. You will feel lonely. Withdrawing from automatic reactions, you'll lose the noise you used to cling to, but let that loneliness purify you. It's not a void, it's space. And that space is necessary for the authentic to emerge. Right. Sit still. Observe yourself, and then you'll see. Behind all the surface reactions was a person long forgotten you. Albert Camus once said, in order to understand the world, one has to turn away from it on occasion. When you return, you are. Someone new withdrawal might make others uncomfortable, but it's the necessary interruption for reconstruction. When you return, you're no longer easy to please. You're no longer in a rush. You no longer need to prove anything. You show up as a field of calm energy. And that presence changes how the world interacts with you. Change the game with silence. Silence is a source of great strength. Not every question needs an answer. Not every invitation deserves a yes. Not every emotion needs a reaction. When you cultivate selective unavailability, you begin to own your life. You choose your words. Choose your battles. Choose the energy you give. And that's when you return to yourself undistracted, undivided, uncontrolled. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Viktor Frankl once said, conclusion, become a land not easily entered. Let people assume you're always available. Let access to you be something that's earned, not because you're arrogant, but because you've learned to honor your own value. Unavailability doesn't mean being cold. It means I will not trade my peace just to maintain a temporary connection. When you stop reacting to everything, you don't become weak. You're restoring order. And sometimes the greatest strength lies not in what you do, but in what no longer has control over you.